Hey, my name's Samuel Leeds and I love the UK. I love buying houses in the UK. You know, one of the things I love so much about being a property investor and developer in England is that this land, they're not building any more land. They can't build any more land. And most of the land that you see is greenbelt or is protected. You can't build houses here. So you build a house or you buy a house where there's an overpopulation of people and there's a shortage of land and there's a shortage of houses. There's only one way that ultimately that property or that land is going to go, and it's going to go up. Statistically, properties in the UK double in value every 10 years. Like, this is not my opinion. You can look back over the last 100, 200, 1,000 years and you'll see that property prices statistically go up over time. And here's the thing, in the UK, and I think generally just across the world, we're told our whole life, we're told, you know, buying property is risky. How can it be risky? If you're buying something that's making you money every month and is going to go up in value over time, I don't quite understand how that can be risky, but it's okay to take out a loan to go to university to study arts and then finish university and then get another loan to get married on a wedding day. Like, how is that okay? But it's not okay to borrow money to invest in property, which is an appreciating asset. It really just blows my mind. I mean, most people, listen, if you want to be like most people, if you want to be average, this is most people. Most people work for the weekends. That's why they have the Feel Good Friday, because you're thinking, I can't wait till the weekend where I can, on Saturday, do errands, go shopping, and then on Sunday rest, back to work on the Monday again. But one day, most people think they'll retire and that's when they'll be happy. And you know what? I don't think you have to wait till retirement to live a good life. I'm 28 years old and I've got a very large property portfolio, and I'll never have to work again. And I don't say that to brag or impress you, but to impress upon you that it's possible. So let me give you a few strategies of how it's possible. Number one, leverage other people's money. Don't think in the terms of, I'm gonna work hard on my job, save up money, and then put that money in the bank or even invest that money, because that's the slow way to do things. I mean, the way to do things is to leverage other people's money. If you can borrow money from a bank, or a mortgage will give you money and they're just going to charge you 3% interest, which they are. Right now you can borrow like £100,000 from a lender to put into a house, and you can pay them back 3%. 3%. And they'll fix it. You can pay a little bit more. You can pay 10, if you can fix it over 10 years and pay 4%. So if you can borrow money and pay 4% and fix it for 10 years, unless you are completely ignorant about property, you can easily then use that money and make 15%, 20%, 25%, which means that you're using the bank's money to invest and you're getting an infinite return on investment. So number one is use other people's money. Number two, this is like seriously important. When you're investing in property, most people, you know, they'll dabble a little bit. They'll buy one house and they'll think, let's just see how it goes. When you're buying property, the biggest risk that you'll make, and I don't say this glibly, I've been investing now for almost 12 years. The biggest risk in property is not buying enough. Because what will happen is, you'll dabble, you'll buy a house, and you'll think this is an asset, this is great. And then 10, 20 years goes by, and then when your house shoots up in value, you'll be thinking, geez, why did I not buy more houses? Like, I bought my first house at 17 years old. And then by the age of 21, I was financially free. By the age of 25, I was a millionaire. Now I'm 28. I've got a very large property portfolio. My biggest regret, hand on heart, is looking back when I started and thinking, why didn't I do more? Why didn't I buy more? It took me 4 years to become financially free. If I was to do it over again, I could do it in 1 week. Yo! If I was to do it again, I could do it in 1 week. And again, I don't say that glibly. How do I know I could do it in 1 week? Because I started all over again from scratch and I did it in 1 week. So your biggest regret, your biggest risk is not buying more houses and not doing more of what you know. So these guys were, I don't know if they are fans of me, but I thought I'd invite them. Are you guys from around here?
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. So we're doing a documentary about property investing. Are you guys entrepreneurs?
Nah, we're young.
You don't have to be old to make money. How old are you guys?
16.
Do you know how old I was when I bought my first house?
Oh, really?
17.
Oh, yeah, same. Mortgage?
Yeah, mortgage.
Huh?
Yeah. Hey, man. So, yeah, man, I'm from Lichfield, but I come down to your neck of the woods because it's more beautiful. So, yeah, doing a documentary on property, I couldn't notice that you were in the background, so I thought maybe you could say something to camera, give some pieces of advice, talk about what you know.
Advice about what?
Whatever, man. You're on camera. How many views have we got? How many views have we got right now? Maybe 100,000.
Sign my shit.
So you got 100,000 people watching. So what's your advice?
Yo, he's not famous. I wrote something.
Stay in education. That's funny because I actually teach the opposite. I teach get out of education.
Yeah.
So kids, here's my advice: get out of education because the schools don't teach you to be rich. Schools teach you to get a job, which sucks.
Yeah.
So get out of education, educate yourself, use your skills, be smart, make a lot of money, help a lot of people.
Can you just give me some money?
That's my advice. What's that? I don't give money, I just teach people to make it.
Okay, teach me then how to make it.
Check out my YouTube channel, man. You'll be in it now. Awesome, man. Tag me on Instagram. I'll see you guys later. All right, thanks so much. See you later, man. Take it easy. Number 3, you got to know that the property business, any business, it's not a property business, it's a people business, which means that in order to be successful in it, you've got to learn people skills. Now, I'm not saying I'm an absolute expert, but I know how to communicate, I know how to sell, I know how to make a deal. You've got to be able to do that in property. So if you think that property is all about numbers and spreadsheets, you're completely wrong. The most successful property investors and entrepreneurs, they know how to deal with people. Now, I'll back this point up. When your house goes up in value, you say that property has gone up in value. It actually hasn't. What's gone up in value is someone's opinion or perception on that property. Because a property is only worth what a person is prepared to pay for it. People business, tenants. You know, oh, this property is going to give me £1,000 a month. No, it won't. This property isn't going to make you anything. But the tenants that are inside, they're people. So when you're buying property, you've got to remember it's a people business. What do people want? What are people prepared to pay for? You know, it's a people business. Learn to speak to people. It's a people game. Also, it's a business. You know, your product is your house. Your tenant is your customer. Treat it as a business. Treat it as a people business. Get the skills. Don't be afraid to think differently, because most people, the way they're wired, they're average and they're wired to be poor, because the government and the banks want you to be poor. They don't want you to be rich. Learn the skills. As Jim Rohn says, self-education, you'll make a fortune. Formal education, you'll make a living. So I hope that was helpful. Subscribe. If you disagree, you want to argue, come on my show and argue. If you're an influencer and you disagree with me, hit me up. I'll have you on a Thoughtful Thursday. We can debate all day long. Because if you don't debate, it means you're not thinking. So I'm very up for having people on the show, and I'm going to keep making these videos as long as you keep watching, as long as you keep subscribing. So anyway, enjoy. I'll see you next time.